What's up, everybody? How you doing? Tim and Chris here. I pulled her into the office for a few minutes because I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna start working on this." I've actually been working on this for a couple of days. I don't think you haven't seen any of the clips that I've been putting together yet. I've been kind of working on this just behind the scenes as I've had free time in the last couple of days. But our last big trip was the well, that was a different project. Yeah, Paris was our last work trip. Right before that was the Ireland trip, where we spent a month in Ireland. And we were there for TBEX as public speakers, and then we did a bunch of press tours and stuff afterwards. And then we went and did 15 days on the Wild Atlantic Way, which was a combination of stuff with the tourism board as well as the Ireland Blue Book Association, which has all these really cool old school properties like Esco House and so on and so forth. They're like legacy properties that have been there for a long time. So about half, I would say about half of what we did on that Wild Atlantic Way trip was for clients, and the other half was for us. But it was a 15-day road trip with the drone, the cameras, everything else. And what we produced when we got home, this was at the end of 2017. So in 2018, I went full time into game dev. I produced what I needed to produce for the Blue Book Association and Failte Ireland and everything else, which was the days that we did, but there was often 2 or 3 days in between those on that road trip because it went, we were 15 days on the road trip. I think it actually ended up being 14 days because of the weather. That hurricane, there was literally a hurricane in Ireland, which knocked a day off our trip. And then we ended up spending 3 days in Dublin, 2 or 3 days in Dublin. So I think in total it's like the last 18 days of our trip. I produced half a dozen things out of those 18 days for the clients and the people we had obligations to, and the rest of it has sat on our hard drives since then. So the people you see up above here, not in this box, we're a little older now. I mean, you see there, those people are less gray. It's been like 5 years, I guess 4.5, almost 5 years since we took this trip. It didn't, time flies, especially when you get old, folks. So, um, I'm finally sitting down to put together clip footage from this trip. Chris actually has, I don't know if we're going to do it right now because I've got too many other irons at the fire, but Chris even has, she recorded all of her own audio, all of her own intros for I think the days that we did these, so that we could eventually do something with Viajes con Cristina also. So there's a lot of Spanish stuff in here as well to go through. But anyway, this is in the works. I don't know how often the episodes will come out. Maybe once. If I'm lucky, I'll get two a month. More than likely, it's going to be one a month because I'm just going to very slowly put together all of this footage. As you can see behind me, I have this is when we still had the Canon handheld, so which you were the one using the Canon handheld almost the whole time. So we've got all the handheld footage, then we have the drone footage, and then we have footage shot with the DSLR. So there's three different reels for each day that we got to go through, and there's anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half of raw footage that I got to go through for each day. It just kind of depends. I've already cut this one down a lot, so I'm down to looks like roughly 10 minutes of sort of cut down footage. And now what I'm doing through is I'm going through all of these clips and I'm further tightening them up and putting them together. And we could look at this real quick if you want to, Chris. I don't have audio for it right now, so I apologize. Plus, I don't have I have the headset on for the mic. She doesn't. But anyway, let's look at this. So this is hang on, why did it stop? Why did it pause? All right, there we go. This is when we went up that lighthouse and it was freezing cold and it was just I couldn't even open the door because of the wind. Finally got the door open, and then this is day one, and like it was horrible weather when we started. Um, so we went out and took some crazy pictures in the wind. Um, Still beautiful, but I think there's even sections of this video where you're in the background saying, "Oh my, Dios mío, tanto frío, tanto frío." And this was the intro we did before we got in the car. So this is actually before we went to the lighthouse. And then after the lighthouse, it was driving every day. We did probably, the transitions don't look that smooth on video right now, everybody, because they're not finished. But we did probably 4 or 5 hours of driving minimum every single day, sometimes six, because it was a road trip. So, we were doing stuff in between, lots of pit stops to take pictures and stuff when the weather was sunny. I think even here in a minute as we get through the this first episode, um, that's a way too long of a shot. I'll have to edit that down more. This is us going through a town. Trying to see what else is on here. There was lots of this. It was just we were just cruising through the countryside on like roads where you could only drive 40 kilometers an hour, and then we would find places like this and we would stop and we would get out and Chris would have the handheld, so she's recording me, and then she's also recording like the B-reel footage, and then I was shooting the photos and getting the primary footage with the camera. Couldn't use the drone this day though, at least not in this part of the trip. But we're coming up to. We eventually got clear of the storms, and it went from that to this. Um, and so we were able to get the drone up. And this is only, by the way, this is all footage from day one, and I've only cut down about. I'm probably 30% of the way putting together the footage. It'll probably be like an 7-minute video, maybe 7, 8 minutes. I'd like to hit the 8 minute mark because we're getting close to getting monetized. So if I hit the 8 minute mark, these actually can have the ads beforehand. This is one of the drone shots. Those birds flying around, I just love. This is Chris. This is all Chris doing a lot of the recording. You didn't drive this trip, did you? I was actually it was because you're driving the opposite of the road. It wasn't too bad. Um, but I got an automatic because I wasn't about to do it manual. Anyway, everybody, that is that's the teaser. We're going to be looking at these, editing these together. I'll have Chris come in and give me commentary and we will do some narration. Probably the two of us will do narration over these episodes. Um, Based on, I mean, there's memories, and then we got this, which I know the first part of this, that the logo is wearing off, but Chris got this Wild Atlantic Way book when we were there, and in the beginning, I think somewhere in here, what's up, Lucas? How you doing? He's like, what are you guys doing? Yes, come over here. Somewhere in here, there's notes for the trip. Ah, Lucas. He's being extremely. He wants attention right now. I think, what are we doing, mommy and daddy? So we'll go through this, and Chris has other notes and stuff. We'll try to dig. I mean, this is 4.5 years ago, so we'll have to figure out what narration we want to do on these, if any. I got to get music for them, all sorts of stuff. So let me get that over something interesting so that we're not just hanging in dead space. So yeah, everybody, stay tuned for this because it's coming soon. I'll probably have the first episode out in July. I'm not gonna rush. This is definitely a back burner thing because as you've seen, most of what we produce on this channel these days is the homesteading content, and that's definitely the case because we're not actively traveling right now. But we're coming up on our 10th anniversary as well in October. So I figured I'd try to get this stuff done beforehand because if we do decide to go anywhere for our anniversary, I don't have anything. We could do more travel footage as we go around and do stuff. We'll let you know. Anything you want to add? Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Yes, that's the big one. I have Lucas's in my lap, and it's like 100 degrees, and it's not very comfortable. So, seven rescue cats that keep us from traveling at the moment. So, but we're happy in the homestead. So we've done a lot of traveling over the years. It's not a bad thing to have a homestead, and yeah, we've actually talked about that. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear her because we only have the one mic, but she was saying maybe the next trip we do is with cats. Um, but I don't know that we would go international with the cats for a while, because that's way too much of a hassle with passports and quarantines and everything else. But we've talked about taking them around Mexico. We've talked about getting like a small van or a little cargo van or something, and just put a bunch of big cat bed in the back so that the cats can go with us, so we can just cruise around. I don't know. Who knows? That's a next year thing because we're still building the channel up. But I will say this: like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. YouTube has changed the things around recently. So we already have the people, we have the number of subscriptions that we need, and we do the video limits easily. We're just it's view hours at this point. So if you like this stuff, make sure to go back to watch other stuff. Recommend it to your friends. Share it out in your Discord channels and on your social media. Luke has found his mommy. Well, mommy grabbed Luke because he was on my lap. So, all right, let's You want to say bye bye, Frodo, Lucas? I always forget what cat it is, man. There's too many cats. What's up? This is Luke. Yeah, say bye. All right, see everybody. Until next time. Cheers. Have fun.